Yeah. What's good? It's be the G Shah Cypha. You officially tune in on the Grind Live. Are we supporting anybody out there grinding in any capacity? So what does that mean? That means whatever you grind, whatever your grind is, we here to talk about it. You get what I'm saying? So you can be an artist, you can be a photographer, you could be a fitness person, a cook, whatever it is. If it's a grind, you need to be on here to talk about it. You already know the mantra. If you see me, you see dope people. I'm gonna say it again. If you see me, you see dope people. Anything else is uncivilized. So what I got with me, I got somebody with me right now that's been grinding for a while. You know what I'm saying? We got his music on rotation on both of our stations, Track Bullies Radio, Power 107.6, The Truth, Thug Money. What's going on, my G?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Y'all already know what it is. What it do? This your boy Thug Money. Come on now. Whoa!
Y'all already know.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Let's get it.
You already know. Y'all already know. So I like that energy that you bring straight out, right up front, right away. You know what I'm saying? But for those who don't know Thug Money, explain to the team, explain to the people where Thug Money come from and what you represent right now.
Okay. I come from Virginia, the 757. I'm from the projects. Luckily I made it out. Um, as an artist, as Thug Money, I represent empowerment. I know a certain songs that I make um, that I shouldn't make, but it's going to help the process of what I'm getting ready to do for our culture. So, with that being said, I'm coming straight from the streets to mainstream. You dig? And I'm talking politics.
Right. I hear that. I hear that. So explain the brand name to me, because when I talk to an artist, or when I talk to, when I interview people, what I mean, specifically when I interview artists, their name is their brand. I don't just call you by your name. You know what I'm saying? I don't just say it's your name. It's your brand. Like Shah Cypher
Right.
is my brand. So talk to me about how you came up with Thug Money. I can kind of I can come up with my own ideas, but I like to hear from the source. Give me the origin of Thug Money.
Thug Money originated came from my grandmother. She originally gave me the name. So what I did, I just incorporated Thug Money Entertainment LLC, which is any form of artist. You can do acting, modeling, um, singing. It doesn't limit your talent. That's where it came from.
And that's dope. I like to hear that. Shout out to your grandmother for giving you that name. Was there anything specific about you that she was like, yeah, you Thug Money? You know what I'm saying? Like what was that moment? Can you dive into that a little bit? Like what was that moment when she said, yeah, what I mean, and we gonna call you Thug Money?
Okay, at 16, who you know at 16 buy their dream car? I had bought a Cadillac DeVille, and it was a tan, and it switches colors at nighttime. Young dude.
16, yeah.
Yeah, you feel me? What do
You
young
don't
dude
know,
you
yeah,
know out
no,
there?
no, no, because my kids just my oldest son turned 18. He don't got he got a charger, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But that he didn't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't buy it, you know what I mean? So no, I hear you. I hear you. Continue. I ain't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, you good? And then when I bought the matter of fact, I took my grandma to the car lot and I checked it out. I said, Grandma, this is what I want. So she was like, all right. I said, Grandma, it can fit 6 bodies in the trunk. She was like, what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna get it. So originally she helped me. The only thing she did for me was put it the insurance in her name. So what I did on during a weekday, she would keep the car, and on the weekend I would come get it. So, my grandma took care of me, so I made sure she was riding in luxury. When I originally had 3 jobs when I went to go get the car. So,
Yeah. Man, so 16, 3 jobs, a grandma that supports you. You was
hmm
grinding. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Like 3 jobs at that age. You know what I mean? If a 16-year-old right now at this day and age got 3 jobs, they'd be like, yo, that's work abuse. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like they'll try to come after you for something like that, but they don't know, me, from the eras that we come from. You got to get it. You had to get it in. You had to get it in early. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Some of these kids are in barbershops and, you know what I'm saying? Or they in the grocery stores. yo, we was everywhere working. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
So I definitely understand that, you know what I mean? So yeah, so you bought the dope car and changed colors overnight, you know what I mean? At nighttime and all that. What was your experience like growing up, man? I know you talk about your grandma and things like that, but what was your experience growing up in Virginia? You were in the hood, but like explain to me your upbringing.
Um, I seen a lot of things, being with my grandmother. For instance, I seen someone get shot up under my window, you know, and the cops coming, they did what they had to do. And when the body left, you seen all the blood just sitting right there in the
Yeah,
grass, right beside my window. It's stuff like that I seen growing up. So, it takes a toll on me, but at the same time, the experiences I seen and the experiences that my grandma and my grandfather shaped me to be, you know, it told me that I didn't want to be in those places.
right, right. When did music come into play? So before you took it serious as an artist,
Mm.
tell me when music was something uh that you gravitated to or identified with, you know what I'm saying, or discovered, and then let's talk about when you decide to become the artist.
Okay, music is in my blood from both sides of the family. To my grandmother, her mother was a preacher. My grandmother, she was in the church. Singers on my grandmother's side, her brothers, then her son sung. On my father's side, I have keyboard players, drum players, singers, preachers. So the music originated in church first. You see,
Okay, okay.
so I was that little kid, would like to go on the front pew to sit on the edge just to watch the drum player play the drums.
Right, right. And that's dope. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I, you know what I mean, like where when it came to me, music was at a young age too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had a chance to we ain't had the opportunity to watch any bands like that, but we had people in the streets with the boom boxes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I definitely hear you there. Okay, so now you know what I mean, music is something that was already in the DNA. You know what I mean, coming up. So when did you decide that you wanted to start writing music? This is not professionally yet, but when did you identify like, yo, okay, I like this. I love it. It makes me feel a certain way. Now I'm gonna try it myself. Like, what time frame was that for you?
Um, Actually, it really started from poems when I was in elementary school.
Okay.
My mother and I used to write back and forth as poems, and I end up entering the poem into my school, and my teacher end up entering the poem into nationals. I end up winning the nationals. So that's when I began to. My mother said, "Why don't you just turn your poems into music and how you feel?" So
Right.
that's how that started.
That's what's up. Okay, so professionally,
Mhm.
what you know what I mean? What year was it when you said, okay, I've been doing the poems for a long time, for a minute. I'm gonna start putting it on some beats. But professionally, when you start getting into the business side of it and saying, yeah, I'm gonna build a brand behind this, like what year was that for you? Do you remember?
Um, that was in '08 when um, I started VAOGs, Virginia's Official Gorillas. Yes, we're still up and maintaining. One of the members is locked up right now. So,
Okay. Shout out to the members. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
yeah.
We'll
So
see
we
you when
doing,
you get home.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know it.
I
So
mean,
we doing our solo project until he come home.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Okay, so you know what I mean. Shout out to all the members, regardless if they free or you know what I mean, on doing some time. Got to sit down for a minute. You know what I
Hmm.
mean. We see you when you get back, and we gonna get right to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
definitely hear you there. You remember the very first song you wrote?
Yes. Why my life like this?
Oh, word.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So how long is that song? Is that like a 2-3 minute? Is a you know what I mean? Like that name sound like you had something to say. You know what I'm
um,
saying? So
that was actually a 3 minute and 26 second song.
Okay. Okay.
So as I got older, um, that really that 18, I was 18 when I wrote that Pacific song,
Right.
and I was just finding out, certain things that I was dealing with in my life, far as my mother and father and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the hook was more like, why my life like this, why my ears have heard and my eyes have seen. I would have never thought in a million years money would fall. Damn, no reply, huh? So that was the
Yeah,
hook.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and for your very first song, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I know you've written a lot of songs since then. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, but the fact that you still remember the lyrics to your very first song, man, I'm an artist too, but I don't remember the lyrics to it. You know what I'm saying? To the very first
Uh-huh.
one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, so fast forward to 2025. Um, you've been through the COVID era. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You had to sit down for a while. After the COVID era, because everybody had to sit down, like how did your elevation of, what I mean, of your artistry come about? Like you got the very first song that you made, you go
Hmm.
through things, the trials and tribulations, you fast forward to now. How would you say you elevated as an artist?
Honestly, I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, I've been down for 4 years, life and death situation, going through surgeries. So Aquafina is really my first song coming back out within them 4 years. Like, I'm
Okay.
still healing. Like, I have over 200 stitches on my backside still, so I'm still healing. So with Aquafina, it transpired into a better lyricist, a better person, because if you go back, right before I went down, I had a song called Turning Tricks. And then right before I went down, I have a song called Five Mics, which is political, and it's something that everybody needs to listen to, because that's going to be a classic. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. What is your writing price process? Do you gotta be in your own studio? Do you have to have a certain environment before you write a record? Like, how do you get to a point where you're ready to write a record?
honestly, wherever I'm at, and if I have it in my head or I have a beat, I just go at it. And no, I don't waste any time in the studio, because time is money and
Money.
money is time.
Yeah, man. Listen, I record at home now, so I get to really develop the record the way I want to. But
Hmm.
before I had that ability, right?
Hmm.
And when I was going to studios, I would book the studio time, but I would probably spend like 10, 15 days practicing. So by the time I got to the studio, I was
Hmm.
knocking out albums in 5 to 6 hours because I ain't
Hmm.
had no time to mess up. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, there was a time where I booked like a whole 8 hour session, man. I did like 20 songs, and they're like, damn, you know what I mean? Because I was practicing for a whole 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I
Hmm.
got there, I already know what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. If anything was stopped, it's because the producer heard something else that they thought I should be doing, or the engineer, like, yo, why don't you do it this way? You know what I
Yep.
mean? But they did was add to the flavor of the song, right?
Yep.
We brought in a different aspect of it. So I get what you're saying. Like, yo, you won't catch me in the studio with a beat and I don't already got lyrics ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I hear you, time is money for sure. Who was your influences, man? I mean, when you listen to music, you gravitated because you heard somebody else, right?
Hmm.
So who influenced you coming up?
I like Prince, but who really influenced me? Um, Muddy Waters. Take
Redman,
it back.
Redman, Muddy Waters.
No, no, not Red
Okay,
Man.
I'm about to say, like,
No, take it, take.
Redman. Okay,
No, look, we're going
okay,
way back, like
okay.
Chuck Berry.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You from my
the
way back.
original.
The original. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. I hear you, man. What about that flavor of music, that time, that timeless music really resonated with you?
It really spoke about their life, their volume.
Right.
You know, I understood when I heard their records. I understood where they came from. I understood they struggle when I heard their records.
Right. Right.
And you have to think, like, everything that we have now as a recording, they didn't have that. So they
Right,
had to work 10 times harder than we do.
right, just to get it on wax. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Imagine rewinding just to get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yep.
definitely hear you on that. Um, so music could do a lot of things to you, give you different emotions, make you feel a certain type of way. And in
Hmm.
order to do that, you got to really have the right engineers and the right producers to help you bring that to life. Who were some of the producers or engineers that you're working with? You know what I mean? Either today or maybe, in the past that kind of helped you bring some of those records to life for you.
I only have three since I've been recording.
Okay.
Uh, and that's Prentice P, the one that's actually on
On
Aquafina.
Aquafina, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the one that made the beat.
Oh yeah, so it's a 2-for-1 special right there. You got,
Right.
I mean, yeah.
So with him, he had a group called Seven City Affiliates, which is seven members, right? To our three members, VAOG. So um, it was only three people that had to get on the track that can get on the track. So all of us had to write a hard verse, and we had to decipher who was going to get on that track. So when that happened, he just brought the best out of me, and when he did that, he just started recording me like, "Nah, money, do it this way, do it that way."
right,
Like my laugh, like haha. He was like, "Yo, you need to do that." It's just every
right.
song you get on, haha. You know,
Yeah.
you feel me?
Yeah, so you developing like a signature with your music. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So I could definitely hear you from that. You know what I mean? Shout out to the producers out there that really, help us take that music to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely hear you there. Like, you know, um, what are some of the what for artists in your city
Mhm.
that, what I mean, pretty much brand new to this? What would you say to them? I mean, for them, it's a lot easier to put this music out, right, than what it was for us and even further back. But for
Mhm.
anybody that looks up to you, you're like, what would you tell them as a brand new artist? Like, how would you try to coach them or mentor them to another level?
Make sure you have a budget before you even talk to anybody, before you even go to the studio. Make sure you set aside a budget. Without a budget, nobody will move, talk, anything. You know,
Right,
you just can't sit around and think you're going to get a record deal, because you have to realize that record deal looking at you and like, are you going to invest in yourself before we do? Because
right.
if you don't, why should we invest in you?
Right. And that actually leads back to just life, period. God don't help nobody who don't help themselves. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So if you ain't out here grinding, which is why we call out, on the grind live, if you ain't out here grinding, then you're really not going to get back to what you think you putting in, right? So you got to go hard. And the biggest thing that a lot of these artists don't know is you're going to spend a lot of money before you see a return on investment.
You ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like I had people reach out to me like, yo, I ain't trying to spend no money, you know what I mean, with the prices that Groundwork Enterprises offers. You know what I mean? We try to keep it balanced at the same time, make sure they understand it's a business. And I'm like, yo, you don't even have to come to us, but you're gonna spend something, right?
Well,
So, you
I'm
know,
gonna I'm gonna give you a prime example, right?
yeah,
So turning tricks. Before I went down, my wife and I spent over 20 grand promotional wise, touring wise,
right,
everything you can think of. But what it led me to was, when it was time for the money to drop from BMI,
right.
guess what? It went to my bank account. Guess what happened? I was end up to buy a house and a Maserati off of, investing in myself, doing what I was supposed to do.
Right, right.
So
Because you put in, so well, scare money didn't make no don't make no money. But you know what though? That 20,000 didn't go into an investment that you didn't know what was going to happen with it.
mhm,
That 20,000 went into investing in you. So all
right,
you had to do is show up every time something needed to be done. You have to
right.
be there. You have to make it happen. So the fact that you was able to have a return on investment that allowed you to cash up on that, cash up on a car, cash up on a house, take care of your family. You be like, well, shit, I'm gonna do this again. Why not?
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's double up. You know,
Right. Right.
you know what I mean? Stop playing. Um, you know, one of the questions we always like to ask is, what do you feel like your definition of grind is?
Um, no excuses. You got to get up and go get it. No excuses. Like I said, even though I've been down and out, but people don't realize I've been in the hospital on my phone, just still making sure turning tricks, get on the radio. I
Right,
wasn't worried about Spotify, none of that.
right,
Your biggest move is getting on the radio.
right, right,
That's what I was worried about when I was in the hospital. You
right,
know, like I said, no excuses because I couldn't walk. I was on my deathbed. I didn't complain. I still did it. But you have these artists that that can go toward, that can do this and do that, but they're scared and or they're making excuses. That's why I
right,
said
right.
no excuses.
No excuses at all. Definitely, man. You got to put, you got to put in that work. You know what I mean? And the fact, so you listen, you couldn't walk, you was down, but you took it as an opportunity. Like, listen, what in my capacity right now can I do to make sure this music still is pushing? So
Hmm.
you know what I mean? So the way I saw it, you was condescending, you was down, but your arms was working. You know what I'm saying? You can think, your eyes was working. You know what I'm saying? You got contacts, you got social media, your phone is on, right?
Hmm.
In between whatever happened in the hospital, that still had to be done, but you making sure you get that music out there,
And
right?
you know the crazy part?
What's
I
that?
was filming in the hospital room on my Facebook page. Every day I was filming. When
Right,
I came out of surgery, like 3 days after they do my surgery, I would film.
right, right.
You
But
know,
you,
like I
but you
kept my
had goals.
face in the media.
Right, right, right. And that's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know what though? That's a dope story to be able to tell. That's the
Hmm.
uniqueness of Thug Money, right? You can
Yeah.
you can tell people that and they be like, "Yo, that's a motivator right there." Especially for anybody out there that's feeling down and like, "Yo, this ain't working for me." And what's crazy about it is at the very time when you feel like this shit ain't working, is the line right there. You just need to get past that, and all of a sudden stuff start popping off for you, right? That's like
Hmm.
the last test. Give them that last test. Just make them feel like it's not going to go down, and then boom. When you get past that, it's pretty much uphill from there. 'Cause you're already at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Like how much down can you get if your eyes still open every 24 hours? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I can definitely hear you there, man. Um, so what else does Dog Money got going on? It can't just be music, man. I know you got dreams and aspirations. I mean, if you in the hospital making sure you pushing that music, I know you was thinking of other stuff to get into. You know,
My wife and I have a food truck called Jazzy Cake Soul Food and Desserts and More, and also that's one of the sponsors that goes out with me when
okay,
I go perform.
okay,
We also have a corner store. We also do sponsorships with the developmental disabled.
okay. Well, man, we can't breathe by that without talking a little bit more about that. You know what I'm saying? Because right there,
Hmm.
all every the three things you just mentioned brings life to community,
Hmm.
right? You bring it, you giving back to the community. The fact that you got the food truck, you feeding people,
Hmm.
right? The fact that you got the store, you allowing people to come re-up on supplies, necessities,
Hmm.
right? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you helping the less fortunate, right?
Hmm.
So why did you decide, besides, getting into businesses and being able to own stuff and, what I mean, to have stuff to give to your family down the line, like what was the pinpoint that you say, yeah, you know what, let's start this, and then you know what, that's successful, let's go here, and you know what, let's go, but let's give back, let's do this. Like, how did y'all come to that point?
Really, it really started for me giving back. I seen my grandma. do food banks and stuff. That what drove me to want to give back. So so to say this is working with the developmental disabled, you know, it teaches me a lot and it teaches me patience.
Right, right. You know
So
what? And you gotta have patience, especially in the world of music.
right.
And you know what I mean, in the world that we live in right now, you gotta stay aware, you gotta stay in the know, you gotta know what's fake and what's real, but at the same
Hmm.
time, you know what I mean, you gotta be able to navigate and survive. At this point in time, you went through all these surgeries, you made these changes, you've transitioned, you know what I mean, from from one headspace to another headspace. Out of all the things that you've been through at this moment, do you feel like you living or surviving?
Um, I'm living,
Yeah. Yeah.
not surviving. I'm living because God gave me the opportunity to still breathe.
Yeah.
You know, so and I can't complain because He's still blessing me with the music, and He's also blessing me because my wife and I are working on uh, building a black-owned bank. So
Yeah.
you know, it's just a test God put me through to see if I can make it to the blessings that He's gonna give me.
Right, right, right.
You
When
know.
you see the vision and you got somebody that sees that vision with you, that's rare. Once you find that somebody that sees that vision with you, and you can both take that vision and what I mean, put it in the ground as a seed and then watch that thing grow.
Hmm.
You can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. Listen, man, tell everybody where they can find your social media. How can they get the Thug Money? Is you got a website, social media, all that? Let them know.
Okay, you can find me at Thug Money 757 on Facebook. You can go to Thug Money on fan page. That is a black owned another social media. Matter of fact, Isaac Hayes. You
Fan
feel
base.
me?
Yeah, fan
Isaac
page.
Hayes.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. You know what? Everything going on, we need to start investing in with our own people.
It's a fact.
You
That's a
feel me?
fact. That's a
Also, you can find me on Instagram, Thug Money LLC. You can find me Spotify, iTunes, Apple, anything, Twitter, all major platforms. Also, you can request me on any radio station. I'm over 40,000 radio stations
yeah,
with Aquafina. So just call and request up or however you do it. Like I said, I'm just easy to find. You can Google me.
right.
That's how easy you can find me. Just Google me.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Listen, you know what I mean? Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody out here grinding, everybody taking things to another level. Is there any shout outs you want to give to anybody?
Um, First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to y'all, man, because with the opportunity, man, I'm so grateful. Like, you know, I just had to test the waters first before, I start, sending, you
Yeah,
already
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's a
You gotta
major
make sure
shout
it's
out to
legit.
y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel
You
you.
feel me?
Right.
And shout out to Jazzy K Soul Food and my wife because she holding it down. Shout out to Prentice Peace. Man, shout out to God first and foremost.
Right.
Without him, we are nothing.
Right. That's a fact. Yeah, man. You always got to make sure you do your homework on the people that you want to do business with in the future if you want to go that route. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I saw you doing your thing. You know what I mean? You came to us. You got the music popping on the stations, and then I was like, you know what? Let's talk about what you got going on. Let me just extend that olive
Mm,
branch. I see what you're doing. I see the grind. I like doing that. You know what I mean? Giving opportunities when I have the ability. That's why I built this for. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So, and that's why we call it grind work on the grind live, all that. You get what I'm saying? So, listen, shout out to you. If nobody else tell you, and I know you hear this from your family, especially your wife, but I'm gonna tell you as a person that you first seen for the very first time, I'm
Mhm.
proud of you, my G. Keep grinding, keep
Thank you.
doing what you need to do. We gonna be watching, we're gonna be paying attention, and you know what I mean. And when people, hopefully anybody who sees this, go follow him, and do the same. You know what I mean? Congratulate them, support them, and stop playing. You know what I
You
mean?
already know.
You already know what it is. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, you know what I mean, on a Wednesday, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To talk about what you got going on, and then the Bless the On the Grind platform podcast. And we just gonna get out of here. Salute to you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
For sure.